It is a distinct honor to be here at the Empire Club today. There's no better moment, maybe there's no better forum in the country to talk about urgent issues, digital sovereignty, building the economy of the future, as we just heard about. The Empire Club was founded back in 1903, which was another time of great political tremor, profound technological change, and ever since, this has really been the place where people come together in the country, not only to frame the present, but to plan the future. Okay? And that's really important. And in fact, I was arriving here, you feel it, right? It's the Empire Club. I felt, the spirit of Winston Churchill who spoke here, and Mahatma Gandhi, and Bill Gates. I almost felt them pass through me. It was like a physical sensation. Then I realized it was actually my phone buzzing. My staff was like, you got to go. So I guess maybe we're involved in too many AI sims. But let me pick up on something that Saurabh said. We're in a crisis. We shouldn't sugarcoat it. And we also have a remarkable opportunity in front of us. As you say, the Prime Minister refers to it as a hinge moment in history. And he's right. But what does that mean? It means we are at this nexus point where we've got a technological revolution colliding with a political realignment. I've called it a Gutenberg moment. Things change. And the choices that we make today will shape our economy and our democracy, our daily lives, and our values for decades to come. At another time, we were building railroads and highways and ports. They are still critical to securing our sovereignty. They always were. The same is true for our digital infrastructure. AI and quantum will be as important to securing our sovereign future as the railroad once was. But why? First, because they are going to give Canadians the power, but most importantly, the tools to build the economy of the future and keep that secure. At the very core, in a sense, the AI revolution is the Renaissance age of the builder, the new age of the entrepreneur. And this country is a country of builders built by risk takers. And if you look around this room, and you'll meet each other, that's the very purpose of the Empire Club, you'll see founders and researchers and CEOs and investors and teachers and students, members of the public who care about the future of this country, all trying to build and master the next big thing to help this country. Innovators everywhere now have the power in their hands to turn their ideas into business like never before. And I started my career as an entrepreneur. A few weeks ago, I was in Edmonton and I met a woman named Martha White. She's a professor, a machine learning professor at the University of Alberta. And she's using her research and AI to make water treatment dramatically more effective, to use fewer chemicals and catching contamination much more quickly in real time. And she told me this. 5 years ago, Martha would never have had the tools, and this is even more important, she would never have even thought that she could become a CEO and start a company. I mean, we all know if you start a company like I have, it's nuts. It's hard, it's risk-taking. You're the janitor, you're the CEO, right? You have to hire your friends and fire your friends. Being an entrepreneur is hard. But she's done it. What's she doing right now? She's still teaching future engineers at the University of Alberta. She's just raised $7 million for her company. She's doing another round right now. And she's loving being a CEO. From the lab coat to the C-suite, from the classroom to the boardroom, the journey has never been shorter. And that's the power of AI. It's the kind of transformation that when we were in All In Montreal yesterday and the day before, there are 2,500 AI companies in Canada today, and they are new ones born every single day. I was with a company in Montreal yesterday called Reveal. Reveal's cool. They have a tool. They were, by the way, invited us to a live brain surgery yesterday. okay? They have a tool called Century that allows a brain surgeon, as they're slicing off the tumor in the brain, it is delicate, to detect in real time with a simple probe using light if all the cancer has been caught. Because they need to reduce with this tool second surgeries by 30 to 40%. And they can do it because the AI can interpret what it's seeing so quickly and says you have to take more. Remarkable. It's just starting. Every day we see it. Our tech industry currently employs 800,000 people. It's the fastest growing sector in the country. Highly skilled, good paying jobs, and more to come. The question for all of us, how do we seize it? How do we seize the moment? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. The term, the mission, the answer for this government, I think for this country, is build digital sovereignty. Building digital sovereignty. That's our mission. What does that mean? It means we need a meaningful Canadian sovereign backbone. That means the people, the power, and the compute to build the economy of the future. A digital economy that is free from coercion, acts under Canadian law that someone else cannot turn off. A Canadian capacity that shows our strength to global partners and welcomes global partners. With our own assets, we can engage with the world, bring in investment, go out to the world with strength, preserving our sovereignty and partnering with the world as equal. But the key thing, just as in 1903, when the world recognized the railroad, and then soon oil, now data is king. Whoever controls it, whoever uses it, whoever governs it will determine our prosperity and our security and our values. So we need to build a digital foundation that reflects and projects and protects our core values, keeping our critical data under Canadian law, protecting citizens' privacy, consumers, protecting kids. I have 2 kids. We're parents. We know what that means. Backing Canadian builders so their ideas become thriving companies. We need to make sure that the headquarters, the jobs, and the IP stay here at home. Canada as the AI head office, not as the branch plant nation. Okay? It's important. And the principle is that AI is here to serve Canadians for the better. Quantum is here to serve Canadians for the better. That means the farmer in Saskatchewan, boosting yields with smart farms powered by Canadian-built technology like Raven in Regina. That means the doctor working in North Bay, where my wife grew up. Just always shout out North Bay, because how great. And Vic Fideli will give me points for that. Good. That's right, Vic. Detecting osteoporosis early through routine x-rays enhanced by AI from 16-bit right here in Toronto. The offshore worker in Newfoundland and Labrador keeping platforms safer and cleaner with digital twins from Anamco in St. John's. The miner in northern Quebec supplying the world with responsibly sourced critical minerals, another competitive asset Canada has that the world wants, tracked end-to-end by AI from Optel in Quebec City, and working with great companies like Bruce Power because we have the clean energy. I mean, we have assets. So let me be clear, though, and this is just as vital as digital sovereignty. Sovereignty does not mean solitude. We will continue to partner with, we will continue to trade with other nations internationally, especially the United States and trusted allies. You saw the Prime Minister, we are negotiating with the US, we just did a trade deal with Indonesia. That is, by the way, so significant. That is why the Prime Minister's in the UK today, to continue to build trading relationships. We will be sovereign, but not exist in solitude. We are Canada, trusted And the world wants to do business with us. We have more free trade relationships than any country in the world. Global companies and hyperscalers, of course, they're vital parts of the ecosystem. They always will be. But our goal here, and we got to recognize this moment, that we have to own the tools and the rules that matter most at this critical moment. So you can kind of think about this as building our digital insurance policy. And once we do, then we will continue to engage with the world's best innovators, the best technologies, with the confidence that our core remains secure on terms that reflect our values and in ways that make Canada the place the world wants to do business with and build with. Look, we start from a great competitive advantage, not just our talent and our education and our resources, but in terms of AI, we're the place. Modern AI took shape in this country. Yoshua Bengio, who I was with the other day, had another great conversation. Rich Sutton in Edmonton, fantastic, was just with Rich out in Edmonton. Geoffrey Hinton here in Toronto, the three godfathers of AI. Incredible. We know them, we speak to them all the time. We are so lucky to have them here. We launched the first AI national strategy in 2017. We built the 3 world-class institutions. Vector, right here. Put up your hand, there's probably Vectors in the room. Mila is here, there's Vector right there, nice going. Amy in Edmonton. Talent, research, credibility, incredible places. I mean, these are world-class. But leadership ain't a birthright. It has to be earned again and again, like everyone in this room knows. It's a fight. It's a fight. Competition is fierce. That's why it's so urgent for us to get on with the plan to build our digital sovereignty. We've got 150,000 Canadians working in the AI sector alone. It's growing. With a reputation for trust and responsibility and frontier knowledge that gives us global credibility. But we've got 40 million Canadians whose jobs, health, and futures will be shaped by it. And AI and quantum must serve all of them. Core value. When we're building a plan, principles, strategies, tactics. What are your principles? Stick with your values. Technology serves us. Technology moves at the speed of innovation. Adoption moves at the speed of trust. If we want people to use it, they got to trust it. And our mission is to close that gap. If we get it right, we're not just going to build the next app, the next company, the next Shopify, the next OpenText, the next Ada. We're building those already. We're going to build a stronger Canada, and we'll secure our digital sovereignty. So how are we going to do it? This is kind of chapter 2 for our ministry. Introducing to you today and this week the outlines of our plan. 1, principle, trust and security. Trust and security. We're going to modernize Canada's privacy and data laws that are 25 years old. They've tried it before in Parliament. We're going to do it. We will include protections for consumers and for children. We're going to set clear standards for the use of data. This is not a lockbox. It's not like building Fort Knox. Data ain't gold. You don't put it in a box, surround it with soldiers. Data moves, so this is really important. You got to set clear standards for use of data while giving innovators clarity. Trust means safety, because Canadians are not going to embrace AI if they fear deepfakes and scams and job loss. So we have to keep people secure so AI is an opportunity, not a threat. And when Canadians trust AI, they'll use it to farm, to heal, to teach, to create. So first is trust and security. Second pillar, and that'll come later this year. 2, capital, customers, and compute. For the past 4 or 5 months, I've been across the country, our team has been across the country, we've been speaking with entrepreneurs and founders and industry leaders and university professors and stakeholders. I really don't love that term, stakeholders, but people who give I don't know what the Empire Club rules are, but I'm pretty sure Mahatma Gandhi didn't use that word. They told us clearly, you need three things to thrive. You need capital, you need customers, and you need compute. So on the capital side, we will be rolling out new tools so Canadian innovators can scale right here at home, not just abroad, by helping startups attract patient capital and keep their headquarters in Canada so they can turn their early breakthroughs into global companies. I will say in this room, there are some of our leading VC funds here. We don't celebrate that. We have some remarkable venture capital, angel investors. They're working hard. We need more, but they are doing incredible work. Some of the great companies that we have in Canada are here because of our, you can raise your hand, which is fantastic, some amazing capital, and we need more of that. And we need to, as a government, incentivize that, and we will. You need customers. We'll lead by example through government procurement, creating markets for Canadian-made AI solutions. There are some stats that say government procurement accounts for between 15 and 16.5% of the economy. It could be me, but it's not. But government has to not just work on the supply side, but the demand side. That's why you saw us sign an MOU with Cohere recently, one of our Canadian champions, and there'll be more. But they also have to do it through our defense industrial strategy, which the Prime Minister has talked about as we meet our 2%, our dual use. We'll unlock dual use opportunities for your technologies and your protection. That's really vital, and that's really important. And now we have a mechanism to do it. Third, compute. You need the compute. Sovereign compute and sovereign cloud is not a slogan. It means Canadian data, sensitive data, stays under Canadian law, safeguarded in Canadian-controlled data centers. Okay, that's important, and we'll talk lots more about that. Really important. And I also want to say something about quantum, because this applies to Canada's other leading frontier in tech, quantum, and some of our great quantum companies are here right now. Xanadu's here. Quantum compute, which, remember, people are just getting used to AI. They're like, wait, what? Quantum? What's a qubit? It's coming. And we've been ahead. Quantum compute and sensing and photonics has the promise to be transformational. And it has massive implications, not just economic ones, but on cybersecurity. Canada has been the world leader, and some of the leading global quantum companies are here. Xanadu in Toronto, Photonic in Vancouver. I think Nord Quantique is also here somewhere, which is great to see. The world wants these companies, and they want what they know. But we need to keep them here in Canada so they can engage in the world. Next month, we'll be launching a major new program to do just that, to double down on our quantum strategy, to make sure we maintain our quantum leaders and our industry and our talent, and I'm going to say it again, our IP right here in Canada. We need to double down on the frontier where we're leading, but we got to keep it there. 3, talent. Canada's competitive edge has always been our people, our great institutions of education, our universities. That's why we keep attracting talent, but we got to do it better. There's real opportunities to do that and keep our best minds here. Okay? That's why we're launching that quantum initiative, because we're trying to make sure the world knows this is the place to be. The goal here is not to be the farm team for someone else's economy. Okay? Canada's no one's farm team. But we need to listen to get this right. So how do we listen to get it right? Today, we're kicking off our national sprint. Today, I am announcing, there's no more going to. The past is over. The president is here. Today, I'm announcing the full membership of Canada's AI Task Force. 26 extraordinary minds from across the country's leading researchers, thinkers, and builders. You'll see some of these names here for the first time. Will sprint for 30 days on 8 national priorities. It's a 30-day sprint. In November, they will each send back their bold, practical ideas, and by year end, we will table a refreshed national AI strategy almost 2 years ahead of schedule, moving from principles to projects and from ideas to impact. This is not the only way we're getting feedback. We have our advisory panels, we have our Safety Institute, and beginning on October 1st, Canadians themselves will be able to share their perspectives online, and we'll be gathering feedback from everyone. Many of you in the room have said to me, can I be on the task force? The inbound is fantastic. What a good problem to have when people want to step up to serve their country. So let me first say, thank you. It is remarkable. It is hard to get to winnow this down and move quickly, but these groups will be talking to many of you. Fresh thinking doesn't just come from the 26. It will come from many of you who are working on extraordinary things. It will come from citizens. When I door knock in my riding, citizens ask about it. Citizens matter as much as anyone. More. The individual matters. Businesses, innovators, individuals, families, kids, we got to listen. And it comes from knowing that we have the talent and the companies right here in Canada, and that's important. Part of this strategy is kind of basic. We need to tell ourselves the stories of what we're doing and champion them. We don't even know what we've got here sometimes. Canadians need to do a better job telling our own story and being proud of the fact that we're global leaders. I was with Aidan Gomez, who I talked to a lot, for the CEO of Cohere, Canada's pioneering LLM company. And there are only 4 countries in the world that have big LLMs like this. The United States, China, France has one, and Canada. That's it. It's an incredible company. 2 years ago, 99% of their business was outside of Canada. Then Aidan met Dave McKay, and Dave McKay, the CEO of RBC, took a bet and said, I'll use your North system, and now RBC uses it. I had dinner with Mirko Bibic at Bell, and they have an incredible project, Bell Fabric. Our telcos tell us they're stepping up. And he said, is there a Canadian company we should use? I said, have you met Cohere? No. Called them that, I think that afternoon. 7 weeks ago you started the deal?
7 weeks. October 6th go live.
7 weeks later, they made a deal. They go live October 6th. This is going to be a $250 million deal? Pretty close. If it's not, it will be now. No. The point is, it was a connection. Oh, we have a world-class system. We can use it. Our champions are working together. It is phenomenal. Yesterday, I was with Hypertech. Maybe this room knows. How many people here have heard of Hypertech? Right, a couple hands. They've been around for 40 years in Montreal. Family-run business. Started by immigrants, came to Canada, started a company, incredible company. Yesterday in Montreal, they announced they're investing $250 million in a new data center. They're investing $3 to $5 billion around the world. All headquartered here. Incredible family-run business. There's a lot of brothers in that family, by the way. They're amazing. The point is, we need to bet on each other. We need to buy from each other, and we need to celebrate each other, now more than ever. When the Prime Minister talks about knocking down provincial trade barriers, we've got to knock down our own internal barriers and kind of stand up for ourselves. 20 years ago, Canadians set an audacious goal. I remember it. Remember Own the Podium? Remember that movement? We'd had a couple of Olympics where we never won gold. Canadians were tired of that. Like Winter Olympics and we don't win gold? Not cool. So they set an ambition to own the podium by the 2010 Olympics. Who does not remember Sidney Crosby's golden goal on February 28th when he scored that golden goal? How many medals did we win that year when we decided to lean into it? 14 gold medals. Why? We stood up. Folks, this is our digital own the podium moment. This is it. It is one of our major national projects, as the Prime Minister has announced. There's a lot of excitement, and frankly, and we'll talk about it, there's a lot of anxiety. We get it. There are legitimate questions about security and jobs and just keeping up, but we can't back away. When I was invited to speak here, I went back and I reread Bill Gates' speech when he was here. Bill Gates was here, I think in 1996, 29 years ago. He was speaking at the Empire Club. By the way, at the time, I was hosting a television show called Future World, and I was the co-owner of a tech company magazine called Shift Magazine, covering the birth of the internet. And I got to interview Bill Gates quite a bit. It was quite fascinating. So he comes here, and he was talking about this new thing called the internet. And there was that same optimism and that same anxiety. And he had this, I think the title of it was A Revolution in Communications. I'm going to read you a passage. Tell me, this is 28, 29 years ago. I venture to say, he said, everyone in this room within 5 years will have an electronic mail address and the ability to get messages from business colleagues and friends across the internet. People are like, I don't think so. So he demonstrated it at the Empire Club. He had his staff come and he uploaded a homepage because he thought you had to show people to talk about it to get over the anxiety. And then he said this, quote, "The future I'm describing is not without its challenges. People will worry, not only about the access issue, but about privacy. They'll worry about being left behind. People will worry about rural areas that are not getting connected up. They'll worry about the kind of material that might be available through this medium." And then he said, it's great to have people focus on those issues. We need that. But I see this tool as something that will be used in education, that will allow kids to pursue their curiosity and invent new things, that will allow businesses to be more efficient. Later that year, I interviewed Bill Gates in Waterloo, and he was speaking in February to a group of engineers. And he was the richest man in the world. And I said, Bill, what the hell are you doing in February in Waterloo? You have options, sir. I don't think he got the Canadian reference. And he said, I'll tell you why I'm here. He said, in Redmond, Washington, we have the largest collection of millionaires and the smartest people in the world working with me. And I miss search. Miss Google. Remember, he was trying to buy Yahoo for $45 billion? And then he said, and I'm missing things all the time. And I realized that even I can't keep up. So I realized my best strategy is to come to places like Waterloo, because one of these engineers is either going to start a company and disrupt my company, work for my competitor and disrupt my company, or work for me. So he was in the talent recruitment business. Folks, what is the takeaway? Bill Gates was right about trust, security, and adoption curves, and they determine how fast people will embrace change. It was this true 28 years ago. It's true again in our second wave of this technological revolution. It's true about talent. It's true about talent, but we cannot let people poach our talent. They know the best is here. We know the best is here. We got to keep them here. And we've got to demonstrate what AI delivers. It is not the technology we should talk about, it's the tool. What it delivers: better healthcare, better agriculture, better government. It is a tool to serve people first. And we need to recognize that. And keep it all here. So let me just close before our speech, our conversation. This is the second great technological revolution in the last quarter century. It is incumbent on everyone in this room, all of us and our government, to make it ours. This needs to be Canadian. That's the key. My simple ask to all of you, to businesses and to investors, root your headquarters here. Build and scale in Canada and buy Canadian. Participate with this government as a partner. We need you. Share your ideas with the task force starting on October 1st and help shape the future. To the ecosystem, mentor, hire, and partner, and turn your principles into projects. It's the golden age of the entrepreneur. If you're a student, start a company. It's great. This is our moment to build our digital sovereignty, to build our compute, to build trust, to build Canadian companies that will scale into global leaders. We must seize it, we need to seize it, and we will seize it together. Thank you.